chit chat.
It's literally just me trying to do 3 things at once and trying to keep track of who's on first.
Well, yeah, you can interject when you feel, I suppose, but we are live to 0 viewers, but if a tree falls in the forest, will you get ad revenue for the people that hear it? I don't think so. All right, Rajas is here. Nate's just hanging out, making sure everyone stays in line. No funny business.
Well, good evening to Zero Listener Stream as we gear up for another edition of Backyard Baseball Online League.
Yeah, do we ping all the spectators?
Yeah, I think that'd be good to. There we go. We got a couple.
I don't even know. I don't know how to use Discord. If I did, I'd be able to find the right channel for this. It is in League BBOL.
We are currently awaiting the arrival of Killerbat and Mattitude for this Bat versus Matt backyard semis.
Bat versus Matt. That's going in there. Mattitude. People are probably hearing my typing. I'm going to turn that off.
As we await the arrival of these two playoff contenders, if you're out there in the chat, feel free to help pass the time and maybe provide some of your predictions for how this game 2 is going to go.
Oh no. Me and Nate pinged. That's fine. It's the playoffs.
We have a double ping action going on in Discord. That's how important this game is.
I mean, it's Bat versus Matt. 4-5. This would be quite the upset if Mattitude wins. However, in the last game of the season, only lost by 1 to Killerbat at home. Then, the next game Killerbat plays, since they have a bye, is against Mattitude, where he wins 5-4. So, Killerbat is on a 2-0 run right now versus Mattitude.
Well, you know what they say. That's why they play the games.
Yeah. It's really hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, I've heard. So, yeah, this is a best of 3, I think. These are all best of 3s, right? The semis.
So this game could well end it.
I believe these are best of 3s. I believe the finals are best of 5.
Hey, Jason, game 2023. Not suspicious of a name at all in the chat.
I think it's nice that Jason Jambi listens to our broadcast. That's great.
Gets on base.
Well, folks, we're just again waiting for Killerbat and Mattitude to get their game set up tonight.
You know who else gets on base? I was gonna say, oh shoot, no. Where's Killerbat on my sheet? There it is, Killerbat. You know who else gets on base? Is Xenon Estrada with a .649 on base percentage. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's Barry Bonds 04.
Yeah, walked 6 times on the season and 10 home runs. So 31 at-bats recorded and 10 home runs means you're hitting a home run every third at-bat.
again, folks in the Twitch chat, as we await this game 2 to start, feel free to mention in the chat some of your predictions for how you think this game's going to go. We are awaiting the arrival of Bat versus Matt here in game 2.
I can play a little bit of music. Let's find it.
Some organ interlude, perhaps,
Yeah,
for
no,
the stadium.
it's Pepper Rust music. Let's see if I can run it. Just, fill some dead air. I don't think you guys are gonna be able to hear it though. Boom goes Jerry's. Let's let them go.
This might be a preview for this game. If Ahmed goes deep.
Yeah. This is sick. That was pretty good. Let's get another one in there.
So the question of the day on my end here, much ado has been made of Killerbat's 20 plus years of experience playing this game and leading the boards online when the original servers were up 20 years ago. What do we know about Mattitude's history with the game?
Mattitude and his brother play a lot. I don't recall Mattitude ever playing the original. If he did, it was very little. He can confirm that as well, but has definitely picked it up and learned it again, I think. And Killerbat seemed to have some really OG strats. And Willigan just subscribed to the Backyard Sports Center Twitch channel. Thank you,
You love to
Willigan.
see it.
Congrats on the victory today against Freak Show.
No more having to worry about inopportune ads.
Yeah, we try to. I swear, every time I switch our ad settings, I try and set them up to just like never play as much as I can, and then Twitch goes ahead and just like updates their ad system, and then all of a sudden I have to go back in and tweak with the ad. So I try to make it so either it starts in the beginning or not at all for ads, but we'll see. They may have switched that to that, like you said, inopportune ad moments where they just play them whenever.
Well, while we're killing some time, let's look at the rest of the bracket you mentioned down at the bottom. Kind of an exciting series down there. It's some Canadian action. Toronto Blue Jays of Willigan and Montreal Expos of Freak Show.
Hmm. I'll pull it up here. We'll see if I can.
That's a 2 seed and a 5 seed going at it, I believe.
Yeah, the Willigan versus
Also down in the bottom half of the front yard semis, as you can see, I defeated Schwilly 2-0. It was a 10-0 blowout in each game. It was very exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's maybe we're reading this wrong. Maybe we got this
Cardinals
wrong.
Cardinals advance to the front yard finals. They'll play the winner of that
Schwilly
Canadian showdown.
is a favorite. I think people have been really talking about how good Schwilly's been this season, how good the team is. So
People should have told me. I had no
yeah,
idea.
I've been hearing rumors like, oh, Schwilly's unbeatable, Schwilly's the best. Shrilly is so handsome.
Hmm.
Just been hearing great things about that Cardinals team, and they'll be facing off against either Willigan or Freak Show. As we mentioned earlier, Willigan took the win today. Um, I don't know what the final score ended up being. It was definitely a close one.
And then back at the top half of the bracket, of course, we have one of the backyard semis that we're waiting on here, the Bat versus Matt series, and they'll play the winner of Heinz versus HC Triple I, Fishes and Hornets. They have played game one. Fishes took that one 3-2, and I believe we may see a game two tonight. I guess they were kind of
It might
waiting
be
for this
delayed.
Matt and Bat game to conclude, and I am questioning as this
Yeah, it might
goes along.
might be deep into the night. We'll have to see. But
Certainly, I'll be up for it if they try
I will
to, but
not. I'll be I'll
but
be
we
I'll
will
be asleep.
we will
Uh,
see. That was an action packed game one,
mm,
and that game were you around for
yeah,
that one?
I was. I did watch that almost the whole thing. I think whole. Was that the one that went into extra innings?
That was the
The
one.
14th or so? Yeah, I watched from like the fifth inning onward, um, just before we recorded the scouting report, which is every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. So tune
I
in for
think
that. And
I think you could fill a whole episode with just reflections on that game, and kind of what we saw in the chat was almost as
yeah,
exciting as
it
what was on
was
the field.
the most heated. This is the most heated matchup, I think. Everyone's looking forward to it. It's no love lost between these two. Do we have an official uh, pronunciation of HCII? What do you, does anyone in the chat want to help out?
This is why we're glad that there's team nicknames and we can just
The
cop out
fishes.
and say the fishes. But
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
I'm gonna say HC, and then just the three
HC
I's
is good.
are
Yeah,
because like if you pronounce C like CIII, it's kind of like HC. Know what I'm saying?
it's good to not be the only username in the league that folks don't know how to pronounce. So I think that's great. But anyway, this is deep into the playoffs now. Where anybody that made the playoffs obviously has a pretty good obviously understanding and skill of the game. But you get deep into these playoffs now, and these are some stacked rosters, some
Mm-hmm.
very talented players, and no one is this far obviously without being a great backyard player. So every game, it kind of stands to reason. Every game would be, you know, except the ones I played, uh, are close.
Mm. Your games
So
were close. You put up runs. I think the most important thing is scoring. If you get shut out, that's kind of rough.
yeah, I
But
don't
got
I don't
some
feel
wins.
too bad about it. But yeah, even our games, um, were I think both of them were tied at some point in the fifth inning or later. So I mean, you know, competitive games, and that's what you're hoping for. I think Shwilly and I were both kind of chatting that before the games of like, ultimately we just hope for a fun game,
Hmm.
um, and it's obviously way more fun
That's
when
what
it's
Shrilly does to get your guard down. That's what that's his plan. Make it seem like it's all fun, but then he gets into turbo mode. I do have a question for you. We do have, eight, seven teams left or so. Um, what are some of the key differences between these teams? For one, like just looking at the top half, whoever moves on from Heinz and HC, those are both, I think, very defensive teams. So, well, I guess Heinz, I'd call it fast as opposed to defensive. But then you have Killerbat, who's basically just full power. And I think Magnitude's somewhat balanced roster. So, m- any thoughts on
boy.
the differences?
I mean, again, this is some easy armchair analysis, but as you mentioned, just this Orioles roster, you look down every game that they've played. There aren't very many low scoring, 1-0 types of wins. These are 5-1, 7-1, 8-1. These are high scoring affairs. And to put up 5 runs again, second round of the playoffs when, you know, every team, regardless of pitcher, knows how to pitch, knows how to keep runs off the board. Um, that's that's going to be the challenge facing off against this team. You look at their power stats across the line. It says team average is 82. I mean that tells the story
Yeah, it's
for
an
that
incredible
club.
run here. I mean, just closest game was, I guess, two close games, 3-2 versus Orlando Stars, who was a other OG, who was brought in from by Killerbat and Willigan, and then the other close game was Mattitude, so 6-5. Um, 11-0, hasn't been beat, just has a stacked roster. I think, maybe the favorite here.
Kind of looking through some of these other rosters that you're mentioning.
Do you think there's the best style? Like, what's the best style you think? The meta.
I I mean, I think I differ from other players in things that I value over other players, which maybe explains my record versus others. And I should say also, I don't know that I'm necessarily the best person to ask considering I had the admins draft for me.
You definitely don't value ethics since you have a robot playing on your team.
Well, I like to value science and
Sorry.
technological
I see.
advancement on my
I
team.
see.
No, I mean, I will say this. The roster that I had, I loved it in a lot of ways. Defensively, it
Mhm.
was liabilities all over the field, and so I think definitely going into next season, I think I appreciate um, a good defense more now. I mean,
Mhm.
it was kind of that way in season 0 and 1 when every single game was 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. Like basically just like having a good pitcher and a decent catcher that can throw out runners at first more or less held the day.
Mhm.
So defense really was valuable before, but I definitely appreciate that more now. But I I place a higher value than a lot of people on. I love aggression on the base pass,
Mhm.
and just in seeing this game that we saw a little bit ago, without I don't want to give any spoilers or specifics from either team, but you saw a little bit of that, and I think players can eke out runs against tough opponents, um, making smart decisions and being aggressive.
Mhm.
I like to see that, and again, this deeps in the playoffs where everybody knows how to pitch. Everybody is cautious and is facing these stacked rosters and isn't going to leave you know hangers over the plate all the time for you to just slam out of the park and score 10 runs necessarily.
Mhm. Yeah, it
I
does
think
definitely seem like in the playoffs, the smallest of mistakes can really compound. And you're mentioning that, just keeping track of stamina, making sure, like setting up your defense, keeping your liabilities in the right spot on the field or whatever. Because just like that, someone's going to go and be aggressive on the base pass and go from third to home or from second to home off of some kid not paying attention in the outfield.
and that's what we saw in that last game, the Heinz HC game, where
Hmm.
it went into I forget which inning it was when it finally ended. It was at least 14, I think. 12, 13, 14 innings, and it basically just became like, okay, which team's going to make the mistake in the outfield first
Yeah.
was kind of what we were expecting. But
Uh,
yeah, you know it it's almost cliche, but I I do think that that's the case when I think the margin of skill um, is not necessarily matchup to matchup necessarily high. Roster ability might differ, but
yeah.
little things do matter.
Yeah, the rosters are all quite different. I think it really shows that you have to draft a good team to make it deep in the playoffs, I think. You can't really just rely on just pure skill, like you mentioned. So sometimes you just start out a season, you get some bad luck on the draft. Don't things don't place together like you think and can get a tough season. But luckily, I mean, Mattitude, that's kind of how that was going until he made some good trades. So luckily, there's that trading option. You
It
can
is kind of
trade
funny
baseball
though
players.
that I let the admins draft for me, and I think I can't criticize any of the selections. I think my team had certain liabilities in certain aspects and then certain positives in a lot of others. And I basically bore out with my, more. I think I would have finished 6-5 in the regular season, 8-7 overall. So basically 500. My run differential is right around zero. Um, it's sort of proof of concept for the old Eben drafting that
Yeah,
it
the admin
more or less came
drafting,
out 50-50, which
I definitely remember making some of those picks. And the admin drafting is a little hard. I think there's sometimes it's like too many cooks in the kitchen sometimes. And also it's hard to like pick for people. Like, do they play well with this person? Like I have a bias towards certain players that I just hit better with. And of course, like people like Mike Piazza, I hate. I don't know why I can't ever hit a home run with Mike Piazza, but like for some reason that uh,
yeah, certain
power or whatever, that swing I just can't do for some reason.
isn't that funny how it works that some players just speak to you, right?
Yeah, it's got to
And
be
some
something with the
don't.
timing.
But no, I think I kind of felt because I took season 2 off, and
There were a lot of changes.
and I think I felt a little overwhelmed with how many people were in, and I kind of said, I the admins can't draft worse than what I could at this moment. So
Hey, well,
I
we're
think that's
happy to. I
probably the
think
case.
that would. Do I get the an honorable like playoff berth? I guess because I drafted your team partially.
A pennant is in the mail.
Nice. I appreciate that.
We've got possibly starting here.
All right, looks like they're in. Um, and then is Tara there?
Yes, indeed, I am here. Hello, baseball fans.
All
All
right,
right.
so
Well,
everything's good to go. I'll let you all take over, and then I'll jump in at the end, I think. But
thanks so much for getting this set. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition again of Backyard Baseball Online League with Tara Stark. This is Rajas here to call Season 3 Humongous League playoffs. We're in the backyard semis. First seeded Killerbat of the Baltimore Orioles facing off against the underdog sixth seed Mattitude and the mighty Melonheads. As we said earlier, it's a bat versus Matt series tonight for Game 2. Orioles coming off a 5-4 win on the shoulders of 2 home runs from Zena Nostrada. And we're very excited to see if Matt can even up the series or if we're going to see Bat sweep and head to the backyard finals. Setting the scene a little bit, Mattitude kind of snuck into the playoffs over there with a 5-6 record. He upset third seeded Nate. Sorry, Nate. In the quarters, he's a 7-8 overall record now. Killerbat, meanwhile, remains undefeated. He has a 12-0 record, and Matt's got some work to do if you'd like to even up this series.
We seem to have lost
For
our
some
feed.
reason, for some reason, Matt has closed out of
It
the
hasn't
feed.
it hasn't been holding very stable. We did notice the quality drop a bit before.
Here we go. I think we might be back. Stream is now loading for us, folks. Thanks for your patience as we try to get underway tonight.
Mhm.
Looks like they might have lost connection completely because I see that they're back in the in Prince Rupert. So looking to get things going again. If you have any predictions for how this game 2 is going to go, please leave some in the chat. We will bestow the proper respect if your predictions turn out to be true.
If they turn out to be false, well, we won't hold it against you for too much longer then.
Yeah, I don't think we have one of those like Twitter accounts for this where it's like cold takes or hot takes or whatever where they look back at predictions and stuff. Would be fun to see though. Maybe future seasons if we did that.
That sure would be a show. Let me tell you that.
So again, I didn't call that game 1. Again, 5-4 Killerbat. I was told that Matt, I think, had a lead at some point, and then Xenon hit a multi-run home run that gave him the lead, and therefore the victory was 2 home runs from Xenon Estrada, 4 RBIs. He had 3 hits total, all of them extra bases. So that'll do that. And Matt scattered 10 hits, but only one of them was for extra bases. We had an Ahmed Khan solo home run. So that can be frustrating. You get 10 hits in a 6-inning game, but 9 of them singles. It's kind of hard to scratch together runs, but he did so. He had RBI hits from Amir, Ernie, Ronnie Dobbs, all fan favorites, but came up a run short.
Still, anytime you see somebody new come up, you always love to see an underdog story, right? You always love to see fresh new faces coming through and taking on established challengers, and for any game to come that close is exciting. Looking forward to seeing more of that here tonight.
Yeah, as commentator, we, of course, swear to neutrality, but I think we all would agree that heading to a game 3 would certainly be exciting. But nonetheless, I think we all root in these kinds of games, win or lose, for a good game, for competitive
Saying
good game.
nothing of not rooting, just saying it's exciting to watch.
So here we go. We're getting set up once again. Man, I love those Melonhead jersey colors. They kind of look like the Kelly green uniforms that the Oakland Athletics use in real life, to the extent people are watching athletics games anymore.
I do have some breaking news. We may have HC versus Hines playing simultaneously, so I'm not sure if that'll work out where we can jump between the two of them, but I'll keep an eye on it if things, start to get,
Yeah,
we'll
this
see.
may be a situation that if perhaps if one game gets out of hand and the other one's close, we could maybe adjust on the fly. What do you say?
Yeah, or if Mattitude crashes 6 more times.
Well, nonetheless, we have this Matt versus Bat game 2 finally underway here. Thanks for everybody's patience, and fan favorite Keisha Phillips coming up here to lead off this game. Keisha Phillips batting 486 on the season, pretty healthy batting average, getting on base around half the time. You pretty much say that for most of these top 5 or 6 hitters we talked about in the pregame. This is a stacked Orioles lineup, scoring 5, 6, 7 runs a game at ease almost, but goes down here, swing and a miss. And Kenny starts off the game well from the Melonheads with a strikeout. And here's the home run boy. 2 bombs in game 1, 4 ribbies, 3 extra base hits. A obviously much larger stadium to work with for the pitcher, so that's definitely a benefit. But you can understand here why Kenny's pitching him pretty tight.
The shallow center field. You never know what may happen.
Boy, right on cue. Does hit it right up the middle, but not very deep. Are we going to see a catch, though?
It was looking dicey for a moment.
Whew. Juan classic shortstop play where you trip, fall, get up, trip, fall, catch. Just what the manager loves to see, but nevertheless, it's 2 outs. And definitely positive for the Melonheads if they can head to bat in the first with a scoreless game. Quickly 0-2 on Rachel, who hit a solo home run in game 1, had the only other run scored besides his Xena Estrada homers. It's going to be a little blooper over to Ernie. And
Ahmed can't quite hold on to it.
Biffs it at first base. You hate to see that, but again, only 2 outs. Only runner at first. And here's Bobby, center fielder. Going to whack one foul, and Kenny getting ahead of counts. Boy, look at that giant. That giant left hook, and still going with it. It's going to be Chopper in front of the plate. Potentially difficult play, but Kenny wheels off the mound, turns and throws, and makes the play. And it's 0-0 heading to the bottom of the first after all.
We have got a slammer leading off with Ahmed Khan. Nancy Chin at the mound.
And you just know with that delay before the game that he was in the dugout, headphones on, listening to tunes, just trying to stay peaceful. Boy, that strike call is a rude strike one. Great pitch. Ahmed staying patient, trying to work Nancy a little bit. It was kind of interesting looking at the box score. Orioles had 4 different pitchers in that game 1. There's a chopper for Ahmed trying to spam that runner to first, but Nancy does make the play, 1 away. There's Kenny Lofton. Just feels a little green, a little weird, I should say, seeing Kenny Lofton in green and yellow. Just so used to that Cleveland Indians uniform for him.
That said, seems like it might have been weird for him too. Looks like we had no home runs in the regular season, if I'm seeing this right.
Trying to beat out this play to first, and he does. That is pretty hard to get Kenny Lofton out on a ground ball. 8 speed, just spamming him down the line. Zamir Khan, as I mentioned, had an RBI single in game 1. We saw Kenny having some thoughts of stealing. It says Kenny has 7 steals on the season so far to lead the team. He has 7 of the team's 10 steals. He'll be going ahead again here, but Amir fouls it off. It's going to be a line drive down the line fair. You know, Kenny's going to be going, oof. It is going to be a ground rule double. I think Kenny had thoughts of going and scoring all the way from first there, but Melonheads will still take it, Tara.
Juan Gonzalez up. No force runs. This could be pretty dangerous territory here.
Man, I think Juan Gonzalez is underrated. I've pitched some bombs to Juan on the other teams. He comes in with a .583 batting average, just one home run on the season. Or that might just be one home run on the Melonheads having been traded for in the middle of the season. So likely has more. But right there, a little over aggressive and swings at strike three. And here's Ernie Steele, had another one of the RBI singles for the Melonheads in game one. Trying to do the same here. Base hit would score 1, possibly 2, if you can get it to the outfield. Some decent contact there. It was quickly
Especially at
0-2.
home.
That's a good take. Nancy Chin already up to 20 pitches on the inning. 1-2. It's going to even the count. Oof.
Very nicely done in the far corner.
Those are just tough pitches.
Yeah.
So it's a 0-0 tie heading to the second. I think the Melonheads are happy to get Nancy's pitch count up a little bit, but as I mentioned, the Orioles do have other pitchers at their disposal. And here's Kenny back on the bump. Again, talking about a stacked roster. Isabel comes in with a 548 batting average.
4 home runs in the regular season.
No biggie. Third on the team with 12 runs batted in. Has struck out 6 times, though, and Kenny's hoping to make it 7. Kenny's got one of the really fun pitching animations in this game, I think.
Really pulls the momentum out.
That's right. A really nice pitch down and in. Gets the strikeout. And again, this is a tough Orioles team to keep off the board. You just feel like it's hard to keep a good roster down for very long. So every out is pretty crucial. And a little chopper in front of the mound there. Ronnie Dobbs is going to make the play, and 2 up, 2 down. Here's Colleen. Colleen comes in, respectable 300 batting average. Just 1 extra base hit on the season. These are the kinds of hitters in a stacked roster that you really got to take care of business. It's a good eye there. And a little chopper. It's a 1-2-3. Tara, pretty impressive start, I think, for the Melonheads on defense.
Anytime you can keep
Here we go. Another fan favorite, Ronnie Dobbs here. I don't have the HC Hines game up or anything. I don't know if they have started yet. Just looking at the Discord stream, I'm not seeing any other kind of game, so perhaps they're not even broadcasting, but
hasn't started yet. That's
hasn't
the call
started.
from HC in chat.
Gotcha.
Scoping out the competition early.
That's right. HC watches every game. I don't think I've seen a game that they're not in the chat somewhere. Really nice contact from Ronnie. He's going to hang up there, and that's out number 1. And here I think is Nate's favorite player.
And why do you say that?
Wing Quan was another new guy traded for, I believe, for the Melonheads.
Nate asking what? Pitcher up to the plate.
That's right.
Let's see where Kenny takes this.
You got Kenny, sneaky fast. He's got a good eye, too. A little early on that one. Strike one. Ooh, that's a pretty well placed little blooper in the infield. And Kenny's going to roll that one out for a single. And here comes Johnny Omar. Got a little bit of contact in him. There's Kennedy looking potentially to steal. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I do that a lot. You're just kind of hoping for the catcher to do one of those little bobble throw things. Little check on the stamina there. Johnny puts it in play. Could be a close play at first. But Keisha with the dig. And it is 0-0. Heading into the third. 2 scoreless innings for the Orioles. One of the higher scoring teams in the league. I think their minimum run scored in a game this season is only 3.
Melonheads doing a solid job of keeping things held together here.
Now, folks, I want you to keep it together when I list this stat. But you know how many runs, by my math, the Orioles have scored this season? You know how many runs? It's a very nice total. I believe they have 69 runs scored this season.
Very nice indeed.
They're going to be struck on 69 runs too, because that's out number 1 here to start the third. And here is Butch Sherrod. Down near the bottom of the order, third baseman. Boy, Kenny Kawaguchi is carving up these Orioles hitters.
Hundred stamina, he can just keep on doing it all night long.
And he does have a juice power up that helps. Good eye there from Keisha. We have top of the order. I know when I was in Little League, whenever it hit top of the order, as if we didn't know in the field, somebody inevitably would always shout that. You know, I guess just like look alive, the good hitters are back up. I wonder if Juan Gon or anybody else in the field does that in the backyard universe. Kenny trying to paint that high and in corner. He's going to go down to the bottom left corner on a full count, 2 outs. Kenny in left. Muffs it.
Not quite there.
Keisha going to be aggressive, heading to second, and barely beats out the throw.
Incredibly well done.
And that again just shows you, A, love the aggression, B, great timing. That Killerbat had the instincts there that Keisha could make it in. That was a great job. And again, big moment, in a nip and tuck game like this, 0-0, getting that runner on scoring position. It can be pretty big, especially with a power hitter up here.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Are the Orioles in athletics uniforms right now?
It's basically like it's like two alternates of what the Athletics would use, as Xenon grounds it to Ernie, who makes a good throw across the diamond. And that's 3 shutout innings for the Orioles to start this game. That's impressive stuff from Kenny and the Melonheads. Yeah, it's basically like the dark green Athletics jerseys versus sometimes on like weekends they wear the lighter Kelly green jerseys, which is what the Melonheads are wearing.
How did we get the Orioles into those unis, though?
Yeah,
I imagine, yes, it would probably be a B file, but that's an interesting choice. Gotta say.
Those classic Cal Ripken, 90s games where he's wearing green, obviously. And looks like new pitcher on the mound. Bobby is in for Nancy. And pitching Ahmed carefully, and Ahmed's going to draw a leadoff walk. This could turn into something here because Kenny looking to try to maybe make some contact on a grounder and make this 2-on to start the inning, and Bobby starts him off with ball 1. Ahmed looking to steal, back pick to first, and almost had him. Love the decision. I've definitely gotten burned a couple times on that. That's great catcher play. You're just so not expecting that as the runner. And you're just like praying he can get back in time and do that crazy sliding animation. But this is big here for Kenny to try to make contact. 2-2. Fouling a couple tough pitches off. You love your chances if he can just kind of put it in play. It's going to switch to line drive here. Make some solid contact, but it looks like this might hang up. And a great catch in right field. Circled all around it and did ultimately make the play. 1 out. And a good job from Bobby and the Orioles to keep from Kenny Lofton making any kind of decent hit in the infield. 1 on, 1 out. We have a con at the dish and a con at first. Nice pitch there from Bobby to get back in the count a little bit. Oof. A mile-high pop-up. And does make the play. Does Ahmed want to get a little frisky? Decides against. Probably a good decision. And here's Wangon. Again, a mistake pitch. He can send that one over the center field wall pretty easily. So have to pitch him somewhat carefully. Oh, and he says center field wall. How about the left field wall? Way back. It is off the top of the trees. Ahmed thought about going to third. I think probably could have made it, but decides to play it a little conservatively and goes back. Man, I really thought that was going out. Ernie here trying to pick up his teammates. I wonder if is the invisible wall, so to speak, go across the trees? It doesn't, zigzag like Bart Simpson hairstyle. It looked like it could sneak in between one of the trees, but it's probably just a straight line. And man, tough break for the Melonheads if they can't find a way to score here. Ernie with some good contact right at the third baseman, the hot corner. And that is just a tough break. An inch or two away from being a 2-0 game, and that's the difference sometimes that you need to stay undefeated. Tara, did you catch that one?
I just barely did not.
Was just commenting, oh man, and Rachel now hits one to deep left. Kenny trying to make a play on it. Great speed, and he runs it down. I was just commenting that Juan gone, good power, maybe trying to drive it up the middle over that short porch, and then he proceeds to hit it to the trees and maybe an inch or two from being a 2-run shot.
Wow.
But luckily for the Melonheads, it's still a tie ball game. And Kenny keeping that juice in reserve for the late innings should he need it. When he sends that B-file Bobby back to the bleachers, there's a lot of B's in a row. 2 away.
We love us a little alliteration.
Yeah, some backyard baseball action, of course.
Banter.
Yeah, there you go. 2 outs can I don't have this at my fingertips, but I can't imagine there's that many games that the Orioles have gone scoreless through 4. But Melonhead's trying to do that tonight. And I'm seeing Hines go live here, so we may start to see a little bit of overlap. We're going to obviously keep it here so long as this game is going and close, which appears it will continue to be. And that's going to be ball 4. It looked like Kenny, a little bit of mouse frustration there after that ball went wide. So I think the plan is, folks, to, again, keep it here and, short of extra innings on this will end, and hopefully we can continue on the stream with the Hines HC game. And it sounds like Jibbo may jump in between a little bit, so we'll stick with us here tonight. Great that we have 2 playoff games going. And we should be in for good action either way. Little grinder up the middle. Juan makes the play. Real barn burner here, 0-0. 2 hits for the Orioles. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Melonheads. Jump between in pressure situations, cool. So we kind of got NFL red zone, but for backyard zone, so to speak. Tara, we're looking for some runs across the board. What do you say? Not going to come here, though, as Bobby records his first strikeout of the evening. And we're back to Wing Quan.
Yeah, I'll be jumping back and forth as best I can. We'll, hoping this one doesn't go too far into extras.
Yeah, this one's breezing along.
It's a quick one. They were like,
yeah.
"Oh no, we're gonna play during the other one," and then 5 minutes later, this one's wrapping up.
It does feel like classic backyard baseball online, where we're weeks into playoffs. It takes everybody forever to play, and of course we have 2 games going on at the same time. Love you. Full count, 1 out to Wing. Little chopper. Keisha makes a fine play. And here's Kenny. He's 1 for 1 so far. Again, just a little chop is all is needed for him. Some good defensive alignment, it looks like. More than ready for it at third base.
I will say the other game looks like it's at TCA, so should be a little more runs in that one. Although you'd expect more runs from this one being, Killerbat and Melonheads at a power-friendly field.
I mean, we almost did. The top of the trees kept this from being a 2-0 game as Kenny grounds out to end the inning.
I just jumped over
And
to
we're
Fish's Hornets. There's a man on first base. I think Leo Wayne was just struck out, and Davey Marion, who's very dangerous, is up to bat.
So here we go, folks. This is Backyard Sports Center at its finest. So we've got both games of action for you. And Davey trying to get some scoring going in the first inning, but he's going to pop out right on top of the second base bag for out number 3. And that game is underway over there in the concrete jungle. We have 0-0 top 5 over in the Matt versus Bat game as we head back to Steel.
You want me to let you know when I'm jumping back and forth? I feel like
Hey, you do your
it's
thing.
almost great
I
to
think
like
we
listen
are.
to your call on one while the other's going on too. I kind of want to. It's like I want to skip some of these hitters who are like, almost guaranteed.
Nice running catch by Wing Kwan.
Yeah, that was pretty clutch. Yeah, I hear you. If we have
But then
heart of
like,
the order and one, but
on the off chance like Nancy Chin hits a home run, you like don't want to miss it.
yeah, I will have the stream up for Orioles Melonheads on the side no matter what. So if we do switch back to H.C. Hines and Nancy Chin does belt one to the pool, but
we do see
looking
full count.
We are looking at full count here. Trying to get something on Kenny. Iron Arm Kawaguchi, 76 pitches so far.
Oh,
right on cue, Nancy down the line.
Barely.
That is a foul ball. Thankfully, just like MLB, we do have 6 umpires here calling these playoff games.
There are some funky collisions detection over on that fence, so that could have easily, bounced into a home run if it was fair. So very close.
I feel like given the hit collision on that top of the tree row, that would be unfair. And just on cue, off the semi, and Jason Kendall thinking about going home. It's a double relay, gets him at the plate.
That was so close. You were about a foot from getting on top of that truck, and that would have been 1 or 2 runs. All right, we're gonna jump back to Steel Stadium. Kenny,
Kimmy.
So Xenon, was Xenon getting out?
No, Xenon will be on deck here, I believe. C-Bats after Keisha, right? Keisha 2 on, 1 out. Has a double so far today. Another one could give this Orioles team a much sought lead. That's going to be down the line, just foul. Stressful.
Swing just a tad bit early on that one.
Again, I just feel like, we keep harping on this, but this is a team that has scored at least 3 runs in 12 consecutive games, getting shut out with 2 outs in the 5th. Just can't say enough for the Melonheads as Keisha line drives 1 to left. Kenny spins, throws, gets the force out at second.
Yeah, Kenny Kawaguchi.
Beautifully done play here.
Boy, oh boy. That's going to be Johnny Omar, and then I believe top of the order for the Melonheads. So this could be the inning to try to get on the board. Boy, we're seeing some close chances.
Oh, I could just do that. Yeah, that's no good.
You thinking about double?
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
As Johnny's trying to run out a little chopper in front of the mound,
Just to
and it's
keep
going to beat it out, and that's big. With this top part of the order coming up, that's a big play, potentially. A little bit of stamina scouting here. Yeah, this is one of those situations you want to pitch careful, but can't pitch too careful because a second walk is going to put runner in scoring position. No outs. One run could be it. Ahmed looks like a little bit early down the line. Man, we are seeing a lot of close line drives, and that one was kind of a blooper, but could have spelled trouble.
That strike was incredibly close.
Big pitch here. Ooh, great timing from Ahmed on the run and left. And an impressive catch that who knows could have saved the game there. And here's Kenny Lofton at bat. Again, some decision making for the Melonheads. It's going to be a chopper foul on the first pitch of the at bat. Went grounder last time, switched to line drive, kind of back and forth.
Yeah, I do like grounder with Kenny just to get him on base because if he's on base, he's always got a chance to score. So I do like that idea.
Another back pick and almost got him again. Yeah, and Kenny made great contact on a line drive last time to right. And the hope, obviously, just try to line it down the line, but this time going to swing and miss. You make the call to go line drive. I think could probably make a good case either way, but doesn't pay off here. 2 outs. Try not to waste that runner at first that started the inning. You're in a critical late game situation. Amir Khan trying to pick up his brother a little bit. And it's
that one snuck inside. I think he swung a little earlier than that as well.
So hard to time.
Yeah.
A little bit better there, but Johnny's got to get on his horse.
Left field for Killerbat.
Oof.
It's just been on fire.
That's
Rachel Labuena.
It's both halves of the 5th inning ending with 7-6 putouts standard. So here you go. Zenon Estrada had 2 home runs yesterday.
So unfortunate.
Uh-oh.
A third one now? He sure does.
I just you saw the location. You saw where he placed that ball, and it just snuck way too far to the middle.
Couldn't have come at a more critical time for the Orioles.
This heartbreak for Kenny Kawaguchi and the Kawaguchi family.
And it just hurts. He's pitched such a good game. Like, I think really good decisions, obviously good execution all throughout. That's a tough one to lead off an inning, though. I agree. And this is a stacked team, so it's not one of those situations where you have one person trying not to beat you, but you do feel like coming off a game where 5 runs scored and 4 of them come from Zenon. You're coming into this one saying, I can't let Zenon beat me, and goes fireball 0-2 and misses inside.
You know, that might have
Now
been
he's
like the worst pitch fireball I've ever seen. It was like way wrong side of the
Wondering
plate.
about the wisdom of using power-up pitches here.
Ooh, we do
I
have
think
something happening here. The other screen for a second. Billie
that's
Jean
a
makes it to second. Jose hit it off the wall.
that's a
That's
strike.
strike three.
Yeah, strikeout against Rachel, so it's going to be one out here. Yeah, I think I threw one power up pitch like all season, maybe two, and Loba hit a home run off me on it
All
on a
right,
big
back
freeze.
to Tin Can Alley, and Moe's aluminum truck has
It's
just
a dangerous game.
launched onto.
Boy, drills it off the top. Runners are moving. Billie Jean coming
Oh,
around, going to
no,
score the first
Jose.
run there. Jose trying to get to third, a little ambitious, a little bit of a rundown, and now a great job from the Fishes to limit the damage there. So it's a 1-0 game on both screens here.
Ooh, another one on top at Moe's aluminum. Brenda's gonna be taking third at least. We'll see how long that ball sticks up there. That might be a ground rule double, or that could just be.
Well, that was a oh man, it was a fast bounce and then just hung up.
Oh no, this
Uh
is
oh.
unfortunate.
Uh oh. Uh oh.
Oh, it's just
And
rolling
Jason
for
was
a run,
holding and defying the laws of physics here.
and that is
And Jason
unfortunate.
Kendall is gonna
We
come all the way around. Disaster for the Fishes. It
That's
is
double, the double
two
home
strike
run.
two ball count here in Orioles Melonheads. Melonheads trying to get the catch here to send it to the bottom of the sixth. And Kenny does make the play. So it's Zena Nostrada with the solo home run in the sixth inning. We head to the bottom of the sixth. Series on the line in Matt versus Bat. And it's the right guy up to tie this game potentially. Hit one at the very tippy top of the row of trees earlier. A foot or two away from a 2-0 Melonheads lead. Instead, stranded a couple runners that inning. And Orioles trying to cling to a 1-0 lead. Nancy trying to get the save here. And Juan makes some good contact. Unfortunately, it's going to be right at the third baseman.
See if Ernie Steele can come here and be the hometown hero to tie this one up.
Yeah, that's right.
It looks like the damage is done on the HC versus Hines game. Hines ended up with 3 runs that inning. It's 3-0 in the top of the fourth.
Damage indeed. We've got 2 strikes here. Steele at his home ballpark. Can he be a hero?
Great eye, great eye.
I would have swung and missed at that one, I think. 2-strike
Just
swing
doesn't
here.
quite get the contact
Diving
for
play at
it.
third. Gets up. Guns across. And Ernie was hustling his heart out. But it's going to be 2 outs. Season on the line for the Melonheads.
Tallest player to the shortest player.
That's right.
It's gotta be interesting to watch those.
All up to Ronnie Dobbs.
I will say it is kind of difficult to have your batting box switch like this, with slow balls or whatever. The height is sometimes difficult to navigate. Where if, like for example, something thrown really low would have definitely been a strike. But for Ernie, but for Dobbs it would be a ball. So it's tough.
That's strike 2 and 1 strike away from a series sweep. Oof. Oof. Goes fireball on Ronnie Dobbs to end the series. It's a 1-0 victory for the Orioles. Lowest run output of the season by several runs. A great job from the Melonheads to keep them off the board as long as
one
they did.
leaf
But
away from a home run.
and yeah, a
Want
leaf
more
away
from your
from a
Moose?
2-0 homer, a couple balls down the lines that could have changed the outcome, but in the end, it's Zenon Estrada with 3 home runs on the series to give Killerbat not just a series sweep, but keeps the undefeated season alive and is going to move on to those finals over there.
That was an incredible game to witness.
We have a lot we could say about that, but we're going to quickly move along to Fish's Hornets. As
Rejoin in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, as Hines looks to try to avoid a series sweep over there. Ooh, diving play. I almost hesitate to ask, but has Jose Canseco been walked in this game?
There's been no walks thrown by Leo Wayne so far. I think you don't do it as much in this field because there's walls that block it, but
Very understandable. I just want to keep apprised of my
very
controversies.
yes, the walk gate.
Speaking of Watergate, it's Melissa Waters here for the Fishes, trying to level this deficit.
Yeah, no, 0 walks from Markey as well. I guess, just the idea you don't want to put people on base at this field so fast. Already at the top of the 5th, though, it was basically 1 inning of action, I think, and the rest of it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, they're playing some sped up backyard baseball.
Mattitude has some final thoughts saying, can't help it, prefer not to walk, but I've learned my
Hey,
lesson these last 2 games.
hey, Matt, I definitely hear you. As Marky's going to make a good play here. I hear you, man. I definitely get burned myself throwing way too many pitches for strikes. I don't love throwing corners, and that's the price you pay sometimes. Jorge makes a great play at third. Slide rule in pocket for out number 2. And here's Kimmy. She's not playing at her home field. Unknown if her parents traveled to this away game.
What was that? It was hit into a Bermuda Triangle of players there. Kimmy sneaks on base and Markey gets knocked over. That's going to lose some stamina.
All in all, there was a good reaction time from Billie Jean in center, just kind of standing. Relatable. Well, here you go. Potential 2-out rally. But Jose is going to get under it. That's out number 3. So Hines just one more clean inning away from knotting up this series. That'd be nice if this does end up going to a rubber game. We haven't seen too many of those.
Yeah, it'll be at Ekman though, unfortunately.
I honestly wonder if we head back there, if HC goes back to walking, you know who.
I think so. I think on Ekman you walk as many players as you want. You should just walk the first 3 batters at Ekman. And then just get force outs.
That would I can think of a player that would not enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
It's Brenda today, a perfect 2 for 2. So was all 3 runs scored in that same inning, or no? We had a 1 run like first or
Uh,
second, right?
no, I think it was the same inning. I think Kendall got the home run with the 2-run homer, and then we got Billie Jean
If we
came
see 2 more
home,
strikes, we'll find out real quick.
or maybe Louis was batted in. I forget. But they got on top of the truck twice in a row, basically.
All 3 in 1 inning.
Boy. So here we go, top of the 6th in this nightcap of the doubleheader of Backyard Sports Center action.
There's two schools of thought on TCA. One of them is power line or power grounder, and the other one is hit a wall or the truck, right? So that'd be interesting to see how the fishes can put some runs up. If they're gonna go for hitting the
It,
walls or grounders. I guess with Luann, you kind of have to go grounder though.
I tell you what, it is going to get interesting though if we can get tying person up, because anything can happen if they can
Going for the
just golf it
steal.
up there. Ooh, takes a tough low strike, and yeah, I don't really see the point in running at this point when you more need base runners than where they are.
Luann's staying alive.
Yeah, this is just
Man, that was
praying for a little chopper
so.
single at this point.
That pitch was so good. Ooh,
Great
nice.
eye.
Nice little bounce. Advancing to second. That's always good.
Well, yeah. So it's going to be, just a force play at first, which could impact things a little bit if it somehow gets chopped, maybe to the
Unfortunately,
left
yeah.
or middle.
Unfortunately, Anna Goudreau's a lefty, so it's harder to get grounders
Yeah.
there. And the wall is farther back there.
Or maybe we see a walk here. I definitely do not begrudge Fishes for staying patient here and trying to work that. Ooh, 3-1 count, and now Markey's going to
Crazy.
have to
That was the craziest thing
find the
I've
strike
ever
zone.
seen. Oh man.
See, and there you go.
Oh, Jorge's got a missile arm. Oh, I would have done it. Canseco's at first. He can throw too. Oh, I think that is
See, and
just.
it ended up being exactly as we talked about, but we weren't expecting. Is force play at first, ended up getting a line drive to the left hand side of the infield,
Yeah,
and Leah Wayne tying batter up
yeah.
in the 6th inning.
The only nice thing is Lil Wayne can't really hit a home run because she's gonna hit it too hard off the wall, and then you can kind of catch it. So that is very fortunate for
Big
this
hit out
field.
to left.
Really big.
Yeah, pretty much any other field
All right, but
is probably a tie game. But anyway, I think the Fish will take it. It's not going to be a shutout. Tying runner is at first base here. Go
oh,
ahead runner at the plate.
oh my goodness! If he would have thrown it to second base, that would have been double play, but
Oh
including
yeah.
Jason Kendall catch. Uh, Waters up to bat. Is this Giambi's clone? Who is this clone?
81 power, 41 contact.
Sounds like Giambi.
Pretty slow, so I would stand to reason.
Jose snatches it.
And there you go. Little dicey in the 6th inning, but Hines and the Crazy Hornets are going to tie this series up 1 game apiece. And we're going to head back to Ekman for Game 3, the controversial site of an exciting extra inning Game 1. Very well played from Hines tonight. Well played from Killerbat earlier to sweep that series against Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Decent job, HC, of staying in this game, and almost saw a little bit of excitement at the end. But all in all, 2 pretty close-ish games, and
Showing
And a
that
good night of
Brendan
baseball.
Markar had 4 errors today. That happens. uh,
She takes weekends off.
yeah, that was a real close one. Yeah, good. I think the Hornets having the home field advantage. I think they knew how to play TCA a little bit better there than the Fishes. And then not a whole lot of production from the Fishes at all, really. And I think it helps that the Wall kept a couple home runs in for them. So it was a good matchup. We'll see everyone again soon for more backyard sports commentary shows and so forth.
Absolutely. Thanks everybody
Thanks,
for
Rajas. Thanks, Tara.
staying with us tonight. Some late night Sunday action. Congrats to the winners and good play from HC and Matt tonight, regardless. And we'll pick it up soon. Thanks, everybody.
Good night.